feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi everyone, welcome. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're my patrons and subscribers, welcome back. And so for today's video, we're going to be focusing heavily on how to manifest using a journal. Plus, at the end of this reading, we'll be also providing you as well the personal tarot card reading as well. So today is going to be a little bit different, something that I'm not quite used to. So I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Everything will be timestamped in the description below. So if you want to kind of see what we're covering in today's video, you can just jump into the description. Also in the comment section below as well, we'll have everything in today's video listed. Now, please, this little disclaimer to all you guys who are participating in your live, make sure you have a book and a pen, really. That's all that you really need for today's live. However, if you're watching this afterwards, then just stay tuned. I'll tell you exactly what you may need going forward. Now, the reason why a lot of you guys may have wondered why I postponed the banning books on and comparing it to the Holocaust, I just wanted to move that because I felt like today was the day of manifestation, as it's February 2nd. 2022, and I feel like that is very significant, and that's a very strong manifestation day. So I wanted to make sure we don't accidentally manifest bad things, and instead use this day to manifest good things. So today's gonna be a very fun day, and so I do hope you decide to stay along with me. I'm glad. Hi Doris. Hi love. Thank you both for coming. I really do appreciate it. Now, it's actually quite funny because today, a couple days ago, somebody messaged me and said, "Can you do something positive?" I think her name was Angel, by the way. So shout out to you, Angel. And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't know what to do." And suddenly today, I changed my crystal. Normally, I use black tourmaline, but instead, I changed it to moldavite. And all of a sudden, I'm out with my friend, and all of a sudden, like, it hit me. I was like, "Oh, why don't I just do that?" You know, honestly, it's funny though, because moldavite is a very strong thing, but I'll talk about that later in today's video. But other than that, let's just jump into the main part of today's video because I don't want to waste your time. Now, this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. I just want to put that out as a quick disclaimer in case you have that already. And here are some quick disclaimers on your screen right now so I don't get in trouble by YouTube or you, whatever you prefer. All right, so now let's get into the real parts of it. What is manifestation? I feel like a lot of you guys have an idea what manifestation is. You may have had a lot of people talk about manifestation, but maybe a lot of you guys are wondering, what is manifestation? Well, quickly, I'm going to put it on your screen right now. Manifestation is the art of the act of attracting the things that you desire into your own life. Whether it be something physically tangible or emotional or manifesting in a way to bring about your desire. So that is basically a very simplified explanation of what manifestation is. I have manifested so many things in my life, knowingly and unknowingly. And sometimes I had to realize that, you know, there is discernment between knowing that there is manifesting, you are indeed manifesting it, or you are actually predicting what to come. And I have done both simultaneously. Now the question is, how can you kind of defer the difference between manifesting and kind of truly understanding that you are predicting something? There's a difference. It's desire. If you desire something to become a reality, chances are that thing will indeed become a reality. Now, if you're just cracking a joke with somebody or something like that, like me, I have cracked many jokes, but did not realize a lot of them became prophecies. Because what I spoke became my own physical reality. Like, for example, a long time ago, I was studying abroad and I told my advisor it would be really funny if I went to Florence, Italy, and a pandemic happened because the Black Plague was known to be in Florence, Italy. Well, I ended up going to Florence, Italy in January 2020, and we had the pandemic, COVID pandemic. So, you know, a lot of those things that we speak about, we're creating our own reality. And the way that we work is through the multiverse. And I'll talk about that in a different video, in a separate video. But today's video, we want to focus on manifestation specifically. So I feel like you guys will really like that. Now, bring about your desires through your own energy and belief. The law and a law of attraction and manifestation works hand in hand. We're able to attract situations, feelings, and experiences and things through the energy that we put out. So whatever we feel and experience, we'll put it out constantly. Think of it like a magnet, right? You're just positive being, but you're putting out constantly negative energy. So what comes will be negative. But if you're putting out this positive energy for more positive experiences, you're going to start to experience more positive energies, right? The law of attraction says that the frequencies that we put out as human beings through thoughts, feelings, and beliefs directly affects what comes back to us, which is actually innately true. Now, I have come up and I actually have realized this in my own brain because a lot of everything that I'm telling you today all comes from my intuition here, except maybe a few things which I had to research just to kind of give you a direct definition. What I have found is over the past few years, and I have mentioned this frequently to some of my subscribers as well, that actually your brain and your thoughts, we all have the same thoughts, we have the same thing that goes through our mind. But what you choose to pay attention to is you. But what you choose not to pay attention to is not you. So, for example, that's why people lack understanding for people who might be suicidal, for example, because you're not choosing the thoughts that they are choosing. Kind of think of it like a conveyor belt in a factory, right? All these thoughts are being set on these factory belts coming. But whatever you choose to take off that factory belt and put on your table, that's your thoughts that you're picking. But everybody gets the same opportunity. It's just the one who choose to take it off that conveyor belt, that's yours. For example, if you were to put 100 people in a room and about 5 of you will have the same exact business idea, but one of the 5 of you would actually act on those thoughts, right? That's why people who would have been deemed or would have seemed murderous or even serial killer type energy never ended up becoming a serial killer because although the energy's there, they never acted upon it. You know, there's this thought and then there's action that both have to be followed simultaneously, right? In other words, you are able to control the things that you get in life through your own frequency, right? If you don't like something, change it. As simple as that. Hi, Sarah. All right, well, have fun at the gym. Okay, so how to manifest. Now we're gonna create a manifestation list. It's a very important thing. Now I have some quick little like life quotes, but we'll leave that to the end as I feel like that would might inspire some of you guys. So step one, you want to gather the right tools. That is very important. You always want to make sure you have the right tools at the right point in time, right? So as of right now, if you want to participate at the second part of this video, which is going to be the actual experiment part, where you actually be able to do this with me live or after the video is over, of course, because this can be replayed and reused whenever you want. You have here, you might find yourself needing a pen, a book, or paper. I prefer a book, and I'll explain why in a minute. A crystal, a candle, a symbol, whatever really truly called out to you for this video. But for this video particularly, we just need a book and a paper and something to write. That's simple as you can go. But if you want something more complex and you're just kind of like gradually advancing your techniques, then of course you can build upon that. So as for example, for me, I like to make sure I have my nice little book. I went out and I said to my guys, listen, I want something nice that I can actually enjoy and put my manifestations in. And this is the journal that came about to me. Now, this was something I felt really attracted to. I like to go to metaphysical shops and get my very own book as well. You know, I have this one as well, the owl. I have not used some of these. This one more specifically to my own dreams. So my own dream state, I will just write them down in here just so I can remember them because they're very significant and they may help somebody else in the long run. Another book that I also use as well is The Moon Made Me Do It. And it's basically about the moon phases, and it kind of like gives you like almost like a thing that you can kind of explain your mood swings and how the moon really affects you. And then I also went a little bit more advanced. I got the moon magic, where I'm able to simultaneously understand the moon on a deeper level and this on a cycle and how it affects me on a deeper sense. So that is what you really want to do. You want to make sure you find a book that really called out to you. And my spirit guides actually, believe it or not, when I was going for this book, they were like, Chris, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean what I'm doing? And I'm looking, I'm like walking around. And you ever walk into like a room and you kind of don't know where you're going and why you even walked in the first place? It was kind of like that. I walked through, I'm like, why am I here? And I was like, I'm here for a book. I know that, but what's the book for? Like, what's the purpose of me buying it? Right? And they're like, Chris, you need it for manifestation. I'm like, oh, that's what it's for, right? And so that's why the book is very important, right? Because you're able to write it down, but this is specifically a book that's designed specifically for manifestation. And the reason why you want something that's specifically made for manifestation is, for example, you don't want to end up in a situation where you have like my random journal where I write random things down. You kind of want to make sure you have stuff where it's just manifesting. You don't want to actually end up manifesting things that actually you do not want to manifest, which is why you need to have that discernment to keep some things separate. Now, the next thing is step 2. You want to brainstorm your desires, right? You kind of want to think about it, but I'll get you into the mood in a minute. But that's step 2. You want to brainstorm, right? Right? This is the easy part. Think of a book. Think of this as a book as creating a fictional story that come to life once you write it down. Format does not matter, right? Sometimes I like to use it in a story and kind of write like a fictional story, like a love story, for example. And sometimes I might even find myself just bulleting. And I'll show you in a minute how I do that. Yeah, simple as bullets, right? Now, next one. This is very important and it's highly recommended that you follow this. Priority. You need to prioritize. That is the one of the most important things in manifesting is prioritizing, right? As you all know, reality sets in, and it's extremely important that we understand that it doesn't happen just like that, right? It takes time. So organize from what you're ready for now. So basically saying is what you know that you're really ready to accept as your new reality at this moment and what you desire. Those two things are two very key things that help you prioritize. Now you can also add other priorities like money or finances and stuff like that, but start small. Don't just say I want to be a millionaire and you're gonna end up disappointed. You want to kind of go slow. Like, okay, $20, I get $20 extra this week, or $20, I make $20 more this month. Something small, but yeah, something very significant. And once you start to build up that belief and start to build up the energy, you're gonna start to attract more and more money. Trust me when I say that, right? It does work, and I can definitely prove it. We have here step number 4. You want to build out your own dream, and this is how you're gonna do it, right? That means each desire needs to be used as a subtitle to provide more detail if possible. Yeah, subtitle. So basically speaking, you have the subtitle. So for example, your topic manifestation. The next thing is your subtitle. So now you have like different topics, right? So just say you have love and you'll have your love life. Now you want to break up, you want to get more specific. You want to say, okay, what is love? Right? Love could be very generic. It's a very generic, but yes, simple. You want to kind of break it down, okay, love. Okay, then the next subtitle to love will be self-love and how to self-care. I want to tell myself that I love myself more in the mirror, right? Simple as that. That is what I'm talking about when it comes to building out your own desire. Get more creative, get more detailed, right? Almost give yourself a guide and instruction on how to do it, right? Now, step number 5, write as if your dreams are already your reality, right? So when you're writing something, you have to believe as if it's already happened. Believe as if it already occurred, right? So, for example, you want to act as if you are what you already wrote down. Just say that you are a hairstylist, for example. Then act as if you make people beautiful. Act as if you already do it, and it all shall come. So, for example, there's a little story. I promise you won't be long at all. Okay, so there was this guy on Instagram who I ended up just randomly showing up on my feed one day, and he's giving away this crystal, right? And he gave this crystal away, and he was doing one of the giveaways. Now, this is when I actually started learning and testing out the manifestation techniques. Now, this manifestation technique that I give you today are my own manifestation technique. Now, every manifestation technique is different per person, so you can customize your own manifestation technique to your own liking. Now, as for this giveaway, right, this guy was giving away this amethyst, right? But he had a certain time frame. And I was like, okay, I just caught him right then and there. So it was like a coincidence, right? I was like, you know what? I really want to practice manifesting, but I want my guys to guide me. So my guys guided me, and it took me to my book, right? And this is what I actually wrote down in my book. And this is, you can copy if you ever need to. I wrote down manifesting crystals that I want, right? That is the topic of that section of that page. This is a picture I just took today, right? Then you can kind of see I did a box and it said big amethyst crystal from his Instagram thing, and I put the date. Simple, but yet personalized. I specifically told them when I wrote it down, right? And then I told them where it's from and what crystal type it is, right? Those are the two things that you want to do, right? Then actually, believe it or not, a couple of weeks later, part of manifesting, people pray. The reason why prayer does not happen and does not come to people is because those prayers are just prayers. They're just the belief that maybe something can happen. The difference between manifestation and prayers is that manifestation is you basically write it down, you believe in it, then you go out and do it. So, for example, in order for me to receive that, I understood that part of manifestation is you let the universe know what you want, right? But then you have to meet the universe halfway and actually do it. So, for example, I went out, part of the requirements was in order to get the giveaway, you had to comment as many people as possible, and whoever had the most comments will win that prize or that crystal. And so that's what I ended up doing, and I actually won. I won, and I ended up winning the giveaway. Now, this is the actual crystal. The day I got it, I was very excited. This crystal would have cost me $300. I got it for zero, right? Really, really great investment. Simply all it took was just manifesting, right? And this is today. This is the photo I took today, hanging out with all my other crystals and a little crystal friends. And there it is today. So, yes, I don't know what just happened. Someone edit that out. But there is a possibility that anything can happen. You know how I got that part of the manifestation technique here is believing and acting as if you already had it there. Right? I closed my eyes and I said, thank you, Spirit and Angel, for giving me this. And I pictured in my head in that location where I placed it, and I put it in that direction. And I left it there. Exactly. Now you want to be very careful manifesting. When you think of something, you put it in a specific area where you want it to be, you have to put it in that area. Because you have to allow that manifestation to fold and use that manifestation success to help propel your next manifestation, desires, or dream. Because the more that you manifest, the more confident you will become, the more you will attract. So it's like a domino effect. But it's also a negative thing as well. If you believe that you're going to fail at it, you will end up failing. And so you don't want to end up in that situation. You always want to make sure that you're in a state of confidence at all times. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some time. We're going to start off with step number one. We're going to start with a actual physical experiment where you guys can actually do this with me step by step. So if you have not already, I'll give you some time. You have 1 minute. Gather the right tools. This is what you need right now, okay? You need a pen and a paper. Now, if you do feel comfortable and you want like a crystal or a candle, definitely do so. I have my own candle right here. I prefer white because white is very pure. And then I'm going to light it up and leave it on the mantle. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and I'll see you guys in a moment. If you need more time, of course, you can pause the video. Okay, I'm gonna wait for you guys for a moment. I'm assuming some of you guys are participating. If not, that is entirely okay. This is all knowledge, right? Depending on how your experiments are, if you're hands-on, this should be perfect. If you're a visually person, then of course, whatever you prefer to do. Now, if you're audio, then feel free to listen. I'll give you guys 1 more minute and then we'll start. Okay. All right. So what we have here is my manifestation journal, right? Now, what you want to do is you want to open this manifestation journal and grab the pen. Right, I have a regular pen. You can grab one that's personalized to you, one that's very personal to you. Now you definitely want to check, please make sure you do this. Make sure that you check your pen and make sure you kind of like run in a circle just to make sure the ink doesn't act up on your actual piece of paper. You do not want to ruin it. Mistakes are okay, but I'm a perfectionist, so that's me. But it's entirely up for you. But definitely make sure you check your pen, make sure the ink is all good and well. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to open up your page, right? And go to the page where it's emptied, right? I have different manifestation. Like you also need to understand that some manifestations may not even come to you at this point in time. Like I had manifesting a vacation. It did not end up coming. I never got this vacation. I never won the giveaway. But I understand and I still believe that it's going to happen. The reason for that is it may not happen on the time period of which I expected it to happen. So I'll explain that in a minute. Like, for example, when I was younger, I wrote down that I want to be a YouTuber, right? That was 8 years ago. I'm a YouTuber now. It took me 7 years to become a YouTuber, right? Part of manifesting is patience and understand that when the time is right, it will come in due time. So that's part of manifesting. You need to understand that everything you write down will come to pass. It just may not pass like that. Sometimes it requires patience, understanding, and knowing and believing that it's going to happen when the time is right. Right? There was a reason why, 7 years ago, I was not supposed to be a YouTuber, right? Can you imagine me doing what I do now? None of you guys probably would have taken me seriously, right? It maybe have been taken after a certain age, right? So there come advantages and disadvantages, even if we don't understand at the time in which it was taking place. All right, so I want you to open up to a blank page, right? Open up to a blank page, right? Empty, clean, right? And now here's what I want you to do. Oh, this might be a little too bright for you guys to see it. All right, so here's what I want you to do. All right, I'm gonna pull up something I found really important that I feel like you guys might find very interesting. Now, the next thing I want you to look at is and ask yourself, what would you do today if you knew that you would not fail? I want you to think about that for a minute. Think about what would I do today, and that if I knew I did it today, I would not fail at it. I want you to think about it in your head right now. Right? What would that be? All right. Now, if you have a clutter, you have thoughts in your brain, and you feel like a cloud in your judgment, just sit calmly. Just breathe in, hold it, hold it, and slowly exhale. Breathe in, hold it, and slowly exhale. Now, I want you to close your mind and I want you to imagine and ask yourself, what would what can I do today that I know that I will not fail at? And whatever the first thing that came to your mind is exactly the answer that you've been searching for all along, but particularly for this particular one. And now the reason why I tell you to do this is specifically because it's very important that you do so. Now, the reason for this is that this question is very particular, right? The first thing that came to my mind was happiness, right? That was all that I could not fail at because I need to learn to be happy. But that is one thing that my guides and even my own intuition tells me that I can't fail at is allow myself to be happy. Right? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take this pen, right? And I want you to write down what I just asked you the question, and I'll repeat it right now. What is what is something that I can do today that I will not fail at? All right. So what can I do? What can I do today that I know that I can't fail at, right? Right, that is the question, that is the topic for this page. What can I do today that I know I cannot fail at? Right? That is the question that you want to ask, right? And now I'm gonna put in my box here, I'm gonna put in happiness. Because that is the thing that came to me. Just that one simple thing, just happiness, right? Now you just want to box it in whatever way. You don't have to follow my exact way that I do this. I just put in the word happiness, right? Now, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, well, what are some ways that I can do this? How can I make myself happy, right? This is a manifestation journal for you, particularly. I want you to take this moment and ask yourself, for whatever thing that you wrote down, how can I do that? Right? Give yourself a little bit of an instruction, right? I'm going to give myself a couple bullets, maybe a couple bullets, and then, we'll move on to the next part, right? So, how can I make myself happy? Right? All I'm gonna put down for my first bullet is say I love you to myself. right? So the first thing is I wrote it down like this. Say I love you to myself, right? Because I need to be kinder to me, right? The next bullet for happiness I want to put down is write notes of appreciation to self. That's basically speaking is kind of like getting like a post-it note from my Staples or something, and it's writing down on that post-it note and posting it on your locker wherever you want, where you will see it the most, and say you're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you. Just get that sense of acknowledgement from your staff because really sometimes we lack that appreciation for our own self. Hi, Angel. Welcome, love. Right, that's the next thing you want to do. Now, the last bullet you want to do, now you can do as many bullets as you want. I'm just gonna finish it off with one more bullet. Right, you always want to make sure that okay, if the first two came to you, you always want to give yourself one more challenge and really think long and hard about what that third one will be, just to make sure that you're able to do that because that third one is most likely the most important one of them all. Right. So happiness. How can I make myself happy? I say I love you to myself, write notes of appreciation to self. And you always want to do what I'm talking about right now, where you're just repeating it, you're rereading it out loud or to yourself because you kind of need to hear it. And as more you talk about it, the more comfortable you get to it, you're manifesting, right? You're putting it out into the universe, right? I say I love you to myself, write a notes of appreciation to self, and then just be kind. Right? Again, the last one I put down here is just be kind to me. Just simple, but yet expressive. It kind of gets me to really do some shadow work here and be able to kind of see how badly I've been really treating myself poorly. Hi, Doris. What's up, love? Right. I think that's a lot of what we really need to focus on today. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to ask one more thing. I want you can do this as many times as you like. What can I do today that I know that I cannot fail at? Right. Same thing. Do another repeat. I'm gonna kind of skip it just so that we can move on to the next part of today's video, which is kind of like going to the next topic. Actually, believe it or not, I also have as well. I have another kind of quote or something very similar that I got that would be very important as well. Is that I was watching a movie before quickly we came on to do this part of the video, and this struck me, and I thought this was very important. I feel like I share it. Why do they say, quote, take that leap? When listening to your heart, is it because your heart is the center of your soul? Yes, it really is. It's the very essence of who you are as a person. You may be wondering why the brain wasn't mentioned in that quote, right? It's because the sole purpose of it is to understand the heart. The reason why you have the brain is to understand who you are in the end and who you are at the soul level, right? A lot of you guys wonder, like they say, take a leap of faith, right? And part of that is understanding that the soul knows exactly what it wants. But in order for the brain and the soul to be simultaneously interconnected, the brain must understand the heart before the heart knows what it wants. And the heart must know what the brain is thinking before the brain is even know what is expected of the heart. Right? It works both ways, very simultaneously. Right? The very essence of who you are. The world teaches you to separate and build a wall around your heart. Right? It prevents you from ever truly understanding the real you. I ask you tonight, who shed each layer of which you have been protected, your heart. Allow your brain to explore without judgment. And in that moment, you will witness the bliss of what life truly has to offer. And all it starts is with you. Now, if you ever wonder what love really truly feels like, it truly feels like when you start to understand yourself truly innately. But once you start to understand who you are as an individual and as a person and as a being, you will start to understand the world around you. You will start to understand who you are and how you are and why you act the way you do. And you're able to understand and be able to rationalize and understand the things that you do and understand that, you know, um, how to heal yourself. Because once you're able to know yourself, you're able to heal almost anything instantaneously. because you know who you are at the core, right? That's shadow work. Now, a lot of people say the internet and technology is one of the worst things for the world, but actually, it's one of those blessings in disguises. Now, if you may have not remembered, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all those social media outlets have now created an algorithm that puts out exactly whatever you put out into the universe or whatever you put out into that social media contract, whatever's reflected back on that explore page is you. You are literally looking at yourself. And so every time you look at your stuff in social media, you are basically judging each part of you that is looking, each thing that is posted, each thing that is there is you. It's the very essence of you. So if you ever don't like something, ask yourself, why is this on my explore page? Right? Why is this thing here? Right? There's a reason why it's there. And if you don't like why it's there, simply change it. It's a part of you. And you need to be honest with yourself that this is known as shadow work. But it's a lot easier. Now, back then in the 80s, you didn't have this luxury. But now in 2022, you have this luxury right at the fingertips of your hand. You don't need to hire somebody to tell you that you got a problem with alcohol when there's so many alcoholic drinks on your own explore page, right? It just take a simple tap and look on your explore page and you will find exactly what you've been looking for. And it's going to be right in front of you. The question is, will you choose to see it? Well, I can't force you to drink it, but I can tell you where to find it and you can go there and look for yourself, right? So the reason why it is now, I want you to ask yourself. Now, the next part in this section is after you completed this part, right? And after you ask yourself, well, what can I do today that I know that I cannot fail at, right? Now, the next question I want you to ask right now, and I want you to write down on this piece of paper, is I want you to write, you can box it or whatever, you can kind of like, put a line through it or whatnot. By line, I mean below where it is empty and then pretend like we're making a brand new page. You can even turn to the next page, right? I want to put a line through it because I feel like I'm done with that section, right? Similar to this, and I'm gonna write the next section of today's manifestation. And the next thing that I want to do is, what can I do today that I know that I will not do tomorrow, right? Right, simple as that. But you want to write down, what can I do today that I know that I cannot do tomorrow? And the reason for this question is very simple. It's asking yourself, well, what can I do that I know I cannot do tomorrow? The first thing that would come to mind is talk to my grandparents, right? Not saying that they're dying tomorrow, but we never know when their time is up. So you want to take advantage of any time that comes, right? Time is not an enemy. We're not choosing to seize the opportunity when it's right in front of you. That you're the enemy, not time. Time is simply a contract, but you're the enemy. So you want to ask yourself, what can I do today that I know that I cannot do tomorrow? Right? Is that calling a doctor appointment? Is that watching a YouTube video? Is that making yourself happy? Whatever this is, maybe it's even doing this, right? Manifesting. What can I do today that I know I cannot do tomorrow? And that is simply starts with the question. This question really symbolizes what can I do today that I can maintain going forward? It basically says get rid of those excuses. So if you're saying, oh, well, I'll start this tomorrow. Well, instead of starting tomorrow, you're watching this video, so why don't you do it now? Right? That is what this question is asking. What can I do today that I know I won't do tomorrow? Because let's be real here. You talk about your New Year's resolution, and how many of you have not done your New Year's resolution, or at least completed two of them out of your five that you have? Right? Same thing. Right? So I'm gonna put that hang out with my dogs because I really love my dogs and I always look at them and sometimes I cry when they're dying, even though they're simply healthy and fine and sleeping on the couch. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, ask myself, I don't know what I would do without them. Right? Right. Now the next question you're gonna ask, well, that's it. That's what I have for them. Well, you're right. Now you can make another bullet for that same question, right? You don't always need to bullet. You can make another box for the same topic, right? The next topic that I'm going to put down is become more efficient at doing YouTube, right? Simple as that. Now I'm going to try to simplify that because I don't know how to spell that word, right? So let's just put down become better. Right? Simple, but yet unique, right? Become better at YouTube. Simple, but yet understandable, right? Now might want a bullet because now that is something that you could branch off of. You can get more details. You can start to explain it. I can say better quality sound, right? I could put down become more entertaining, more engaging. Right, and the next thing I'm gonna put down as well is become a better editor, right? I'd never edit my videos, right? Just become better at editing. Right? Just simple as that, unique, but yet it's personalized to me, right? It kind of gives you an instruction manual, so to speak. Now, the next thing that we're going to do now, you can take your time if you need more time to do this. We're going to jump into the second part of today's video, and we are going to kind of do something a little bit different today. Kind of do what I did with the line gate thing, where I wrote down different things, and we're going to kind of copy it and do that today. All right, so let's do this right now. So now if you have your piece of paper, I want you to flip it over and turn to the next page. And I want you to put down the date, February 2nd, right? And put -0222. And then you can put or February 2nd, 22222. Right? So now you can do this manifestation for both days that you're going to do this. You're going to do this today, February 2nd, the 2nd of February on the 2022. And then you can do this as well as towards the end of the month on the 22nd as well. Those are both into manifestation numbers, right? Now the next question that you want to do is right underneath this, you're going to write down is what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for, right? Right? Simple yet unique, right? You want to ask yourself, this is the new year. What am I truly grateful for, right? Now I want you to kind of take a small box, right, underneath it. And I want you to make 4 different boxes. And I want you to tell me, what are you grateful for, right? Be honest with yourself. No one's looking at you. No one's judging yourself. But be honest with yourself. If you lie to yourself, then you're not being honest with you. And that is the problem. And that is an internal issue that you need to face and heal. But as of right now, just say you are honest with yourself. Write some 4 boxes or 5 boxes down, and I'll give you a moment to do that simultaneously. If you need more time to do this, I will give you the time and the world to do that. Just that. Okay, so this is what I wrote down, right? I wrote down what am I grateful for, and I wrote down 4 things. My subscribers was actually the first thing that actually came to mind, by the way. Second, my health. which is actually surprisingly, even though I've been very sick, I'm just grateful to even be alive still, right? The next one is my spirit guides. And my fourth one is my ability to have a strong intuition. Right? Those are my four things that I am very grateful for. Good. I'm glad, Angel. A gratitude journal. We'll be doing that soon eventually. Thank you for bringing that up. Now, whenever you're done, you can pause the video if you're doing this at your own pace or own time. If you are live, you can do whatever you prefer. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you are going to turn the page over and do not write on the back of the page that you just wrote on. You want to make sure you have a clean paper or clean slate. Now, there's a few options that you're going to do this with, right? You're going to take your pen. You're going to write down the same thing. You're going to write down the date. You're going to write down February again. You can write this Feb. You can write down 2/02/22 or 2/22/222. Right? Very simple. The same way that we did it before, right? And you're going to write down instead a different question. You're going to write down, what would I like to remove from my life that is no longer good for me? My simple but yet understandable, right? The question is you want to ask is, what would I like to remove from my life that is no longer good for me? Right? That is the question that we are asking today. Right? I'll of course give you some time to do that. I'm not gonna do this just to skip it over. What you would do is you would write it down. Now there would be two things that you would do. Is you would take this. Now, if you are like me, you don't want to ruin the book, you ruin the journal. When you're done and you feel to the bottom of what that is, you want to cross it out with an X to say that you are now removing this negative energy from your life. You want to read it to the universe that this is what you're removing. You're going to use the word, and I quote, I want to remove, and then whatever that is. So I'm going to give you an example. Okay, you're gonna put down I want to remove, and then put down what you want to remove, and then move on to the next block. Then after each section you do, so however many boxes that you do, you're gonna get to the end, and you're gonna, if you need more, you can put it onto the back of the page. If not, you either have two options. You can pull it out and rip the page out of the book, or you can keep it in the book and then cross it out with an X and acknowledge to the universe and read to the universe that this is what you're now removing from your life, that you're no longer welcome with your new current energy. And or if you are doing the other option, you can rip this book out and paper and you can burn it. Right? Whatever you prefer. Now, do not burn the book. Please do not burn the book. Just burn the page and what that is. And allow each amber and imagine each amber that flies out of the paper when it burns, that each one is a separation of negative energy that's leaving your current energy state, your frequency, right? And the next thing is you want to do the same thing and you want to write down February 2nd, same thing again. Oops, I just screwed it up. Well, I just messed this up, but it's okay. I kind of did like a Australian or like European style, so I just messed it up a little bit. But we have put here the same days, same days. And the next question that you're going to ask is, I welcome into my new life, right? Right, and you're gonna say in here, you're gonna put a little box right here, and you're gonna write down "I welcome," and then whatever that is. So, for example, I welcome brand new subscribers. right? I welcome brand new wealth, stuff like that, right? Simple, not complicated. Now, what you're gonna do is when you're done with this, you're going to place this down, whatever you have, whatever tools you want to use. You don't have to use anything. I like to use crystals, so just taking what's nearby, just temporarily, and just start using my Harrowlight crystal. Right, I take my Harrowlight and I'll place it down on my manifestation journal. I would acknowledge, reread it a few times, believe what I am writing, put my selenite down, put positive crystals on it, right, on both sides of the pages, and I'll leave it open for about a couple of days. I just allow the energy and the crystal to kind of like co-join together and become one and unified. And I'll occasionally take them off, reread it, and just acknowledge that this is going to become my new existence, my very new essence, right? That is simply all that you will have to do in terms of doing that. Now, this is just a very simple explanation on how to do it and how I do it specifically and how I manifested my crystal that I spoke about earlier in today's video. Now, today is a very long video already. I'm not sure exactly if you guys are even interested in doing a tarot card reading. If you are, you can stay tuned for the end of the video, which I'm going to do right now. If not, feel free to leave, and I wish you a very good night. Let's see. Okay. Now, if you need some more ideas for your manifestation or what you want to know from your manifestation journal, here's some quick little things that you guys might want to give you to help jog your little memory. So, Spirit Angels tell me, what should my viewers know? What are some examples that they should know when writing with the manifestation journal, just so they have something to help boost them up a bit? And what should they put down in the journal? What questions should they do for the journal just to kind of help manifest and get them going? Okay, and then one more. Oh, I actually feel like this one too. All right, so here are 4 different ones that you can do. Now you can pick one, whatever one you feel drawn to right now, or you can just let me read them, and if they all resonate with you, then feel free to use them all. We have here to do some simple stretching for 5 minutes. So this is one of the manifestation techniques, right? And after you do that, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna write down the type of self-care. Is it physical? Is it emotional? Is it social? Is it mental? And then you're gonna ask, the next thing is, will I take care of myself by blank? Give the description of how you do it, manifest that, and how it made me feel and how you want to feel, right? All these things have the same exact thing in the back, so I'm gonna show you what they say on the outside. Write down 3 things that inspire you. Observe your thoughts while playing soothing music. That might be a thing that might help you when making a manifestation journal. Then, of course, as well, something that's similar to what I said earlier in today's video. Listen to how you speak to yourself in your head and use kind words, right? Just simple yet fair. All right, guys. I love you, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it informative. I hope you follow along, and I hope that you find it to be helpful. Other than that, I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below what you do think, and feel free to put your manifestations in the comment section below of this video to help manifest or documentation purposes, so you kind of know and you can look back 1 year from now and kind of see where you are from now until next year. Other than that, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know if I should make more videos similar to this, and of course, I will improve each time when I do it. Other than that, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.